Hi, thanks for joining today. We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which are relationships. And one of the things that I've seen over the years are two things. One, I think people are too casual or too loose in the way they describe or define relationships, number one. And number two, I think a lot of bad behavior or unprofessional behavior has gone on in the name of relationship selling. Yeah, playing golf and going to games and stuff like that, but cruising, boozing, and schmoozing, kind of glad handing and all of that stuff. A lot of that has been labeled relationship selling, and I just don't think it's helpful, and I don't think it's useful, and I don't think it's accurate. So today I want to talk about levels of relationship, and here's a model that we have defined and shared with groups for a long time now. And the good news is it has stood up over time. So if you have seen this already, you can go on to the next video. If you haven't, or if you're looking for a refresher, this is still, in my view, a great model. And not just relationships, but levels of relationships. So at the lowest level are approved vendors. One level up are preferred suppliers. Another level up, you may or may not have this term consultant in your title, but oftentimes you'll hear people say, we're being used for free consulting. Or people will say, you've been around, I'm interested in your input on this. Have you seen, or do you have some ideas about this thing that we're up against right now, how we might approach that? And that suggests a higher level relationship. Another level up, you're seen as a contributor, a strategic contributor versus a solutions consultant. Consultants facilitate, contributors participate. So if you've been calling on a company for a long time, you may actually have an employee badge that lets you go in. People think you actually work there. In meetings, you participate in the meeting. Whereas if you were brought in as a consultant and a facilitator and you start, sort of suggesting your ideas and answers, somebody might say, that's not your job here. You're here to facilitate our discussion. That tells you you're at this level, not at this level or higher. And finally, the highest level is partner, or today what a lot of people say is trusted partner or trusted advisor is a term you hear a lot. Now, the reason it's drawn as a pyramid is the center of gravity is about here. 2/3 of all sales reps are at this level, at these lower levels. Our research showed over time that basically 9% of reps make it to partner level, which is funny because a lot of people will mouth the word partner when they really have, this level relationship. So that's not trusted advisor or partner level. The other thing that's worth saying or noting are the differences here, not just in the titles and how you're seen, but what you do. So vendors have great products and services. And the reps are very knowledgeable about those and can talk about them. And basically they see their job as providing answers about their company's offerings. One level up, preferred suppliers not only understand the products and services, but also how people use those, how their customers have used them, and they have more contacts. Typically they have more of a network that they've developed. Another level up, now you not only understand your products and services and how people use them, but now you're starting to understand the customer and the customer's customer. Okay, you're starting to have real business acumen beyond just your products and services, but what difference they can make in the buyer's business. And a lot of customers, their number one question is not what products do you have, but what do you know about me? What do you know about my business? And to answer those questions and to play at that level, you need to really be up here. Another level up at the contributor level, you not only have business acumen and all of this history and information and knowledge, but you also have domain expertise. So now you're seen as an industry expert. And at the highest level, partner or trusted advisor, you not only have domain expertise in all of these other things, but you understand your own organization and the buying organization. Okay, so you have a lot of internal knowledge, organizational knowledge, which is a very high level of play. Okay, and again, less than 1 in 10 reps typically get there. Okay, now having said that, it's not just, well, you know, you should call higher, you should be higher, but there are reasons to get higher. And here's why. There are things that increase as you move up through levels of relationship. And since I'm here sharing this with you rather than, you know, the ability to have the conversation with you, but I'll often ask, what are some of those things? I'll ask you to at least think about it right now. The first one that typically comes up that increases as you move up is trust. And in business, trust is synonymous with credibility. Okay, so credibility is increasing as you move up. Along with trust and credibility, when you are gaining those, are things like access. Okay, the number of contacts you have and the number of contacts you're allowed to have in the buying organization increases as you move up through levels of relationship. If you're in calling on someone, either in person or online, they're talking to somebody, and they say, hey, I didn't know you were going to be here today, but since we've connected, there are a couple of people I want to make sure you meet or I introduce you to before we're finished. Yeah, how does that feel? And I would say it feels pretty good. Versus, you know, there have been times you may be calling, I've certainly had this experience where you can be walking somewhere and somebody say, whoa, wait a minute, how'd you get in here? You're not supposed to be in here. You know, that tells you that level of access or not access, non-access, tells you something about your level of relationship with them. Worked with just recently with a company in the Midwest, financial services organization, and everybody has to wear a lanyard, and the lanyards are color-coded. And number one, if you don't have a lanyard, somebody's going to stop you immediately. But the color lanyard tells you whether you need to be escorted or not. And it turns out in their Louisville location where we were, the restrooms were outside, so we actually had to be escorted out, not to go to the restroom, but so we could get back in. So access will tell you something. Understanding their business. The customer and the customer's customer is increasing as you move up through levels of relationship. I mentioned the number of contacts. The time that you spend with them is increasing, and the time, of course, that they're sharing with you. The other things that tend to go up are margins, references, and referrals. Okay, so all of these are really good things. Okay, I think everybody would agree with that. Okay, there are other things that are decreasing as you move up through levels of relationship. Okay, and these maybe are a little less obvious, and just for the sake of time, I'm going to jump into it. But at this level, how many folks do you compete with? And the answer is everybody. At this level, you may be helping them pick vendors that they're going to work with along with you. So the number of competitors is decreasing as you move up through levels of relationship. The importance of any feature or benefit that you have in your products or services is decreasing. Down here, specs are used as a gating device. Do you have this? Yeah, I have this. Yeah, I have this. No. Next. Up here and above, you may have had this experience. We'll say, have you got this? Have you got this? Yeah, yeah. Have you got this? No. Yeah, don't worry. We're probably not even going to use it. Don't worry about it. Or they'll say, we are worried about it. Will you have it in the next quarter? Because we really are going to need that. And if you're able to say yes, then you can keep going. You won't be immediately shown the door. I had a mortgage broker tell me once, friendship is worth 1/8. So if the market's at 4% on mortgages and you're at 4 1/8, we'll probably still do business, but you're at 4.25 or above, forget about it. I think in high tech and in business, friendship/relationship is worth about 3 months, 3 to 6 months, depending on what the thing is that you don't have. If you don't have it, but you say you will, you generally will have some time unless they're really under the gun. So the significance of or importance of any feature or benefit diminishes as you move up because you're bringing other things to the party. Okay, the barriers. If access is going up, barriers are going down. That's another thing that's decreasing. If margins are increasing, here's one reason why: because price sensitivity tends to be decreasing. It's not that price goes away. It's not that price is unimportant. They're just a little less sunburned around the issue because they know you're bringing value in other ways. And time to close, or cycle time, is typically decreasing. You tend to have more add-on business, more negotiated business, fewer competitive bake-offs, that sort of thing. So these things are going down, these things are going up, all goodness, okay? I like to ask folks, what's your definition of selling? And a lot of times they'll say, filling a need or providing a solution or whatever. This is our definition of selling: establishing and elevating relationships over time. Establishing and elevating relationships over time. That's our definition of selling, because all of this goodness that comes along with it. Now, there are a couple of things I want to point out, and then we'll wrap this up. Time is an interesting one. You'll see it here on both sides, okay? The time to close on any specific piece of business is actually going down, or generally is shorter, but the total time that you're investing with them and they are investing with you tends to be going up. So time is an interesting one because it's on both sides. Another one that's interesting is risk, okay? And what's interesting about this is the risk of losing the deal is going down, okay? Said another way, the probability of winning the deal is going up, okay? So the risk of losing the deal is going down as you move up, but the risk of the deal is going up as you move up. And here's what I mean by that. Down here, if you have this level relationship, somebody may say, well, yeah, we'll take a 30-day free trial. We'll take a free demo, whatever. They're not making a big bet with you. Up here, they're sharing their business strategy, their product roadmap. You're making mutual commitments that you will have what they need when they need it. In some cases, they're making bet their company decisions. One of the companies we work with is Corning. They work with folks like AWS and Facebook, where folks are building huge data centers. It's like, yeah, they're going to be there with the fiber optics and the cable connectors and all of the technology, and they're constantly pushing the envelope. People are making big bets with them, okay? So the risk of losing the deal is going down as you move up, but the risk of the deal is going up as you move up because they're making bigger bets with you, okay? That's one way of looking at this. Another way of looking at this is down here are transactions. Rapid, repetitive, routine. Rapid, repetitive, routine. Boom, boom, boom. Transactions. Up here are interactions. Complex, protracted, creative. Okay, now if you think about that for a minute, rapid, repetitive, routine, it's begging for technology. Okay, you don't go stand in line anymore to ask what your balances are. Wait for a teller in line and ask for a balance, or wait in line at a teller to get cash. You go to an ATM. Or now, if you need anything other than cash, if you want to move stuff around, if you want to pay bills or transfer funds or find out what balances are, you can do all that on your phone today. I mean, you can even go to an ATM, okay? So what you need to know is transactions, the lowest level of the pyramid, is constantly being eroded by technology, okay? Rapid, repetitive, routine is constantly taking this stuff. And so that's the reason you want to move up in levels of relationship, is it's job security. It's like career advancement. It's more interesting, it's more fun, it's more challenging. You're growing as an individual, you're growing as a domain expert and so on. But being really good at this is great right up until it isn't, and some machine takes your job or some technology takes your job and you're out of it, man. And so just recognize that technology is constantly eroding the base of the pyramid, another reason to move up. Okay, there's some other things we could talk about, but I think that's probably good for today. Again, thanks for watching, and keep this in mind.